All right, so it was hard not to notice the juxtaposition between the Obamas and all the former presidents who had the big ceremony for the Obamas. I don't know if it's a library or whatever they were opening there in Chicago, but it was just such a beautiful ceremony with nothing but class personified of all the former presidents and the first ladies coming together, and you just saw what real strength looks like, right, from Obama. And as young men, when you look to who do I want to emulate, and you have a choice between Donald Trump and Barack Obama, there is no choice. I mean, it's clear that you would want to take on the qualities and the traits of a Barack Obama. Poised, calm, humble, stoic, and an effective leader who resided over a better economy, who brought, medical insurance to people who didn't have it or couldn't afford it before. I mean, you look at those presidents and you go down the line. I mean, I hate to say it, but the Democratic presidents brought infrastructure bills, health care bills, Social Security, bills, everything that benefits middle class and average working families were laws passed by the Democratic presidents. And then you look at the one Republican president that was up there, George Bush, who got us into 2 wars that we couldn't even get ourselves out of. So all I'm saying is, young men, emulate quiet strength, poise. All those guys like Trump that are yapping and talking and complaining and whining and arguing, that's just a massive, deep insecurity. They feel weak, so they try to project strength. But people who really have strength and really know who they are, like somebody like Barack Obama, and Michelle goes up there and said, this guy never lost his temper. This guy never lost his cool. In the middle of some of the biggest challenges in his presidency, he kept calm and he kept cool. And that's the sign of a real man. You can throw all the fights you want on the front lawn of the White House to project that you're a tough guy. But Barack Obama, like De Niro said in A Bronx Tale, the working man's the tough guy, okay? The guy who gets up every day, goes to work, does the right thing. That's the tough guy, not these wannabe tough guys.
The best president, Donald Trump or Barack Obama?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, okay.
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, okay. So you're American, right?
Yeah.
Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Barack Obama.
Why Barack Obama?
I respect him.
Probably you're from America, right?
Yeah.
Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Barack Obama, hands down.
Yeah, why?
There's only one right answer to that question, and if you look at anything in our country, it's always Barack Obama.
Oh, Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, yeah? Okay, why Barack Obama?
I don't really know those presidents, but Donald Trump seems really scary.
Okay, Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Oui, Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, okay, how about you?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, oh, okay, why Barack Obama?
He's much better than Donald Trump. Yes.
Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, yeah? Why Barack Obama?
Do I need to expand on that?
Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Obama, for sure.
Why Obama?
Because Trump is a Nazi, basically.
4 living presidents will be attending Chicago this week, this Friday. Every living president is coming except one. Even George W. Bush, a Republican, who battled Obama on every policy that he ever signed, said, yes, count me in. But Donald Trump, no. The 42nd, the 43rd, the 44th, and the 46th president all will be together, just like their respective numbers, all complete. But the 45th and the 47th, like a split man that he is, won't be in attendance. Just like his break-in service in this tenure, it's all broken up, incomplete. Now, Allah, check this out. The Obama Presidential Center is dedicated when? This Thursday. But it opens Friday. And Friday is what? Juneteenth. And remember, for those who are sketchy on the history of June 19th, the day 1865 that the freedom reached black slaves in Galveston, Texas, the Confederacy's last holdout. It's a federal holiday since 2021, this Friday. This day, the nation honors the end of what? Slavery. So let's recap. A monument honoring the black president via hope, opening in America that celebrates black freedom on Friday, first black president. And the one man not invited, he isn't even on the freaking continent. He's an ocean away in Geneva, Switzerland, coincidentally staging a different ceremony. the same damn day, built to swing every camera on earth back toward him because he started a war. And he wants us to believe that he's got a deal with Iran, a page and a half long, signed on DocuSign, no coalition building from any country now, not even Congress, no coalition building from Congress. And it's supposed to be a deal on the same damn day, this Friday, the same day that Obama's doing his opening ceremony on Juneteenth. Greatness does not chase spotlight. Instead, its spotlight finds you. President Obama never asked the world to admire him. They do it automatically. From Nairobi to Berlin to the south side of Chicago, they simply love President Obama. That kind of reverence can't be bought. It can't be bullied. It can't even be scheduled, Trump. But Trump wants a whole global spectacle stage and all the cameras on him miles away, trying to mess up that Friday, the very day Obama's legacies take center stage. You don't need a confession to recognize this blatant jealousy, y'all. And this Obama derangement syndrome that y'all got going on, MAGA, this is not showing strength, but it is showcasing Trump's insecurity. You can't dim Obama's light. The whole world's going to see this. Truth has no party, y'all. Be well.
Okay, just watch this. All the former living presidents and first ladies joined forces yesterday at the grand opening of the Barack Obama Presidential Library in Chicago to send a powerful message straight to Donald Trump. You are not like us. Stay the hell away. The beautiful 19-acre campus looked lively and stunning, telling the story of former President Obama's deep Chicago roots. Nothing like the garbage Trump kept calling it. It was such a powerful image seeing them all side by side, with speeches clearly aimed at Trump. Former President Obama spoke emotionally about how they may come from different parties and hold different views, but they all share core American values: the rule of law, peaceful transfer of power, civil rights, empathy, and the continuity of our democracy. California Governor Gavin Newsom and former Vice President Kamala Harris were there too, praising the return to normality and dignity. Stars like Bruce Springsteen, Stevie Wonder, Bono and the Edge, John Legend, Christina Aguilera, Mark Anthony, Jennifer Hudson, Eddie Vedder, The Roots, Tom Hanks, David Letterman, and Stephen Colbert turned out to celebrate. Everyone supported each other, having a great time, showing real unity and American values that Trump simply doesn't share.
Obama did it better. The new talking point from MAGA is, well, Obama dropped bombs too. Yeah, he did. And he did it better. Obama was able to use surgical strikes and limited military operations to take out targets and not start a fucking war. How about that shit? He did it better. In fact, most of the things that the Trumpies like about Trump, Obama did better. We'll go with unemployment. Obama did better. Economy. Obama did better. Deportations. Obama did better. He was able to deport way more people than Donald Trump, and he's able to do it on 1/10 of the freaking budget. Yeah? And without sending fucking goon squads into American cities. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get across a healthcare bill. Trump can't. Obama did it better.
Welcome back, everyone. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Something remarkable happened in Chicago on Juneteenth weekend, and it sent a powerful message about leadership, legacy, and what Americans truly value. The grand opening of the Barack Obama Presidential Center wasn't just a celebration of a former president. It became a striking reminder of the difference between two very different versions of American. And the contrast couldn't have been clearer. Why world leaders, former presidents, first ladies, celebrities, and everyday Americans gathered to celebrate the nation's first black president, Donald Trump was nowhere to be seen. What unfolded has many people asking one question.
Trump is absolutely fuming this afternoon during President Barack Obama's library opening, as new polling shows that President Obama is far more popular than President Trump. But not just that, Michelle Obama, the former First Lady of the United States, brought down the house at the Obama Library opening, reminding everyone that President Barack Obama won the Nobel Prize, and well, Donald Trump did not. At the same time, Vance, J.D. Vance, is being thrown under the bus, being pushed out to the public to sell this Iran deal that even Republicans say is not good for them. And now he's abandoning Israel in a stunning display publicly for the first time ever, all while Trump's essentially reflecting pool project goes from bad to worse as now the paint is falling off. Make sure to like, comment, share, and if you can, subscribe to my Substack link below to support my work. I am getting throttled and censored everywhere today, especially on places like TikTok, and I need your help to fight back, so subscribe today if you can. I want to begin by showing you where Barack Obama is compared to Donald Trump. Right now, former President Obama is viewed far more favorably by Americans than President Trump and former President Biden. According to a new CNN poll released today, Obama remains the most popular living president by a wide margin. 57% of Americans have a favorable view of Obama, compared to just 34% who hold a favorable view of Trump and a 30% who hold a favorable view of Biden. Obama also outperformed both Trump and Biden among independent voters, where his favorability rating was more than twice as high as either of his Oval Office successors. He maintained near universal support from his own party, unlike both Trump and Biden.
Anyone hear Obama's speech today? He just dropped one of the hardest, coldest lines I've ever heard out of any human being's mouth in my life. When talking about the current administration, he said, it's like Halloween every single day with them, except they're giving out all tricks and no treats. My Lord, that man hasn't lost it. Woo!
Most peaceful president over the past 25 years was Obama. And it's not even close. Trump, at this point, his presidencies have started to look like Bush than it did anybody. He was supposed to be the one that drained the swamp.
W. Bush.
Yeah.
So Trump made history today. He's now the first living U.S. president to have his name removed from a building.
The president's name has in fact been removed from the facade of the building.
We can add this achievement to some of Trump's other notable presidential firsts. Trump is the first president to attempt to overturn his election loss, the first to openly use his office to enrich himself and his family, and the first to accept a fake FIFA Peace Prize. Trump is also the first president to say fuck on live TV, the first to illegally demolish a wing of the White House, and the first to refer to these dudes as very fine people. Likewise, Trump is the first president to be laughed at by the entire UN General Assembly, the first to be convicted of a felony, 34 of them to be precise, and the first to be linked to perhaps the biggest you-know-what in history. So many presidential firsts. And Trump's still got 951 days left in office.
You have people who aren't trying to get every last nickel and aren't cutting corners when it comes to values and treat people high and low with respect and kindness. Just salt of the earth, bedrock people. And there are people like that all across the south side of Chicago. And there are people like that all across this great country of ours. And their voices are not heard because we got a set of institutions that have fallen victim to the siren song of everything's about money and everything's about attention and everything's about fame and everything's about getting over. But meanwhile, there are just a lot of people out here who are just doing the right thing and raising their families and taking care of people. Part of what we want this center to be is a reminder of those people and to make sure this country is true to their spirit. Because if we do that, then I think we're going to be okay. And I want our kids to be reminded of that, and our grandkids. And 50 years from now, I want people to remember that's what we should be about.
If high gas prices are getting you down, just remember it's a small price to pay for a nuke that didn't exist and a strait that was already open.
Michelle Obama completely destroyed Donald Trump in a speech earlier at the opening session of the new Obama Library. You guys have to see this. She rarely gives speeches. Her and her husband, they speak up when important, but they don't speak up too often. So it's very rare to see one of the Obamas giving a speech. I want you guys to see this. Credits to Aaron Parnas. I'm going to be pulling this from a video he had posted. Let's take a look at this together.
You're unflappable at every turn. Always focused. Always calm. Always looking at the long view. How absurd it is to even imagine that you might have buckled under the pressure even once.
She's talking about her
Lashed
husband,
out
by the way.
in frustration. lost your temper. How absurd it is to imagine that you might have done anything but make our family and this entire country proud. No, you were too busy. I'm not done, y'all. Not done. So much to say. You were doing the people's work, rescuing our economy, expanding health care, ending a war, ordering the bin Laden raid, saving an auto industry, winning a peace prize. Keeping us safe from Ebola, regulating the banks, standing up for marriage equality, listening to science, and comforting an entire nation in the face of unspeakable tragedies. And you did it all with such grace and class and cool that you made the hardest job in the world look like a walk in this beautiful park.
That was what I would argue would be a direct attack on Donald Trump, starting off by saying Obama was not everything that Trump is, losing his temper, and he actually won a peace prize, unlike Trump never won a peace prize and is enraged by that fact and makes sure to let us know every day by accusing Obama of something new. So that's great. We love.
Why does Barack Obama continue to command respect across political lines, while Donald Trump remains one of the most divisive figures in modern American history? Let's talk about it. The Obama Presidential Center opened its door during Juneteenth weekend, a date deeply connected to Black freedom and American progress. For many Americans, the symbolism was impossible to ignore. A massive institution dedicated to the first Black president opened during a holiday commemorating the weekend of slavery in the United States, and the guest list was just as significant. Former presidents and first ladies from both political parties attended. Republicans and Democrats stood together. Political rivals put aside differences to honor a former president whose impact on American history remains undeniable. In today's hyper-polarized political climate, that kind of bipartisan respect is almost unheard of. The event wasn't just about celebrating Obama's presidency. It was about recognizing a style of leadership that emphasized calmness, dignity, and public service. Michelle Obama delivered one of the most memorable speeches of the day. She described her husband as someone who remains composed under immense pressure, focused on the bigger picture, and committed to serving the American people. She then highlighted a list of accomplishments that included expanding healthcare coverage, helping stabilize the economy after the financial crisis, overseeing the operation that killed Osama bin Laden, supporting the American auto industry, and winning the Nobel Peace Prize. For supporters, this achievement represents a presidential built on competence and steady leadership, and that's where the comparison to Donald Trump become impossible to avoid. Throughout the event, speakers and commentators pointed to what they see as a growing difference between Obama's enduring popularity and Trump's increasingly controversial legacy. Recent polling presented during the discussion showed Obama remaining one of the most admired living presidents in America. Meanwhile, Trump continued to face legal trouble, political controversies, and declining approval ratings among independent voters. Chris argues that Trump's political brand has always been built on attention, conflict, and division. Supporters may see him as a fighter, but opponents see something very different. They see a leader who thrives on outrage rather than unity, a leader who attacks institutions rather than strengthening them, and a leader whose constant need for attention often overshadows meaningful policy discussion. One of the biggest themes of the celebration was legacy. What will history remember? Will future generations remember viral social media posts and political insults? Or will they remember healthcare expansion, economic recovery, and efforts to bring people together? That question hung over the entire event. For many attendees, Obama's legacy has already secured its place in history, not because he was perfect, not because everyone agreed with his policy, but because he represented a level of professionalism, dignity, and respect for democratic institutions that many Americans feel is increasingly rare. The opening of the Obama's Presidential Center was about more than one man. It was the values Americans choose to celebrate. It was about the idea that leadership should be measured by service rather than spectacle, by results rather than rhetoric, by unity rather than division. And whether you agree with Barack Obama's politics or not, one thing is becoming harder to deny. Years after leaving office, he continues to inspire admiration from millions of Americans and respect from leaders across the political spectrum. The question now is simple. As America looks forward the future, which kind of leader will voters choose? The kind that build bridge or the kind that burns them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Obama's legacy will stand the test of time, or do you think history will judge these presidents differently? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notification for more political commentaries and analysis. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.